A post you put on Instagram today is basically invisible in 48 hours. A tweet, less than that. But a YouTube video you post today can be sending you students and email subscribers and affiliate signups in 2 years' time. That's not a motivational exaggeration. It's how the two platforms actually behave, and I'll show you the numbers in a moment. But here's the part almost nobody gets right. Most course creators who do use YouTube build a channel that gets views and never turns a single one of those views into a buyer. The channel grows, the business doesn't. There's one link that decides which of those two happens to you. Get it right, and every video quietly builds a buying audience. Get it wrong or leave it out, which most people do, and you're building an audience that watches and then wanders off. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that link is, where it goes, and the full path from a stranger searching YouTube to someone buying your course. I'll also show you the deliberate experiment I'm running on this channel right now, because everything I'm about to describe I'm doing here on this channel as we speak. That's not a coincidence. That's the point. Let's get on to it. In Series 1, I made the case for picking one platform and going deep rather than spreading yourself thin across 5. So the fair question is, why this one? Why not Instagram, TikTok, a podcast, a blog? 3 reasons. And I want to be specific about each, because YouTube is good for business is the kind of vague advice that helps nobody. So reason 1, it compounds, and almost nothing else you can do for free does. On most social media platforms, content decays fast. Instagram posts do the bulk of their work in around 48 hours. A tweet is spent in hours. The feed is a conveyor belt. Your post rides it past everyone else and then it's gone. YouTube isn't a feed, it's a library with a search engine bolted on. A video optimized for a specific search keeps getting found and watched months and years after you published it. Analyses of evergreen channels consistently show the same shape. A video's returns often keep climbing into months 12 to 24, long after you've stopped thinking about it. So, every video you publish is a permanent asset. You do the work once, it keeps working while you sleep, while you're filming the next one, while you're on holiday. For a course creator trying to build an audience, which is exactly what this series is about, that kind of compounding reach at zero cost is genuinely rare. So reason 2, intent. YouTube is often called the world's second largest search engine, and while people argue about the exact ranking, the underlying fact isn't in dispute. It handles billions of searches a month across more than 2.5 billion users. And here's what matters to you. Unlike a feed that pushes content at people based on their behaviour, YouTube also pulls content towards people based on what they're actively searching for right now. When someone types how to build an email list as a course creator, which is exactly what last week's video is optimised for, they're not idly scrolling. They're looking for a solution to a specific problem. That's high intent. That is precisely the person who might buy a course on that topic. Your video, if it's optimised for that search, appears in front of them the exact moment they want what you offer. That's advertising, except it's free and it keeps running indefinitely. Reason 3 is trust. Video is the fastest trust-building medium a course creator has. When someone watches 5 or 6 of your videos, they've spent the best part of an hour with you. They've heard how you think, seen how you explain things, formed a view on whether you're someone worth learning from. That's a relationship. Not in the personal sense, but in the sense that matters commercially. They know enough to decide whether to buy from you. A blog post can do a little of this. A podcast, a bit more. The video does it fastest and most completely because the viewer experiences you, your personality, your delivery, your credibility, rather than just reading your words. Compounding, intent, trust. That's the case, but none of it turns into a single sale on its own. For that you need the thing I promised you in the first minute, the one link. That's next. Here's the mistake that keeps course creators poor on YouTube. They treat views as the goal. Views are not the goal. Views are the top of a pipeline. And if there's no pipeline underneath them, the views leak straight back out and you're left with a growing channel and an empty bank account. So let me make the whole pipeline visible, because once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you'll never make a video without it again. Someone searches YouTube for a specific problem. Your video appears. They watch most of it because it's genuinely useful. By the end, they trust you enough to want more. Now, this is the moment everything turns on. Underneath your video is a description. In that description is a link, and the single most important link in that box is the one to your email opt-in page. They click it. They land on your opt-in page, the one we built together in last week's video. They hand over their email address in exchange for your lead magnet, and in that instant, they've gone from a stranger who watched a video to a subscriber you can reach anytime you like, for free, as long as they stay on the list. They get the lead magnet. They go through your welcome sequence, 5 emails over 8 days as we covered last week, each one delivering value and building trust. At the end of it, you introduce your course. Naturally, some of them click, some of them buy. That's the pipeline. Video to email list to sale. And 2 things make it powerful. First, it's the reason the email step exists at all. Litmus 2025 State of Email Research put the average return on email marketing at around $36 for every dollar spent, comfortably ahead of any other channel. That return doesn't come from the software. It comes from the warm relationship the email list lets you build and keep. YouTube earns the attention. Email is where the attention converts. Second, once it's built, the whole thing runs on its own. The video sits on YouTube working without you. The opt-in page is live without you. The welcome sequence fires without you. You do the work once, the system runs continuously. On this channel, that pipeline is live right now. Every video links to a free System.io account in the description. That's the platform running the opt-in page and the email sequence that turns viewers into students. I'm not describing a theory I read about, I'm describing the exact machine you're currently inside. So that's the why. Now the how. And it starts with a decision most people never consciously make. What to actually put on camera. The most common question about YouTube is, what do I actually make videos about? And the most common mistake in answering it is to start from what you want to talk about, instead of what your ideal student is already searching for. Sometimes these overlap. When they do, you get videos that are enjoyable to make and genuinely discoverable. When they don't, you get videos that feel meaningful to you and find nobody. The starting point is keyword research. That sounds technical, and there are sophisticated tools for it, but the basic level is just this. What words are your ideal students typing into YouTube when they're looking for a solution to the problem your course solves? Let me show you the simplest possible version. Go to YouTube and start typing the core topic of your course into the search bar. Look at what YouTube fills in. These aren't guesses, they're real searches real people are making right now. YouTube is literally handing you a list of what your audience wants to know. Every one of these is a potential video and a group of people actively hunting for the answer. If your video is the best answer, YouTube surfaces and supplies it to them. But, and this is where course creators go wrong, not every search is worth the same to you. You're not chasing views. You're chasing the right views from people likely to buy a course on this topic. So filter for buying intent. Best platform for online courses is someone actively making a decision. Far higher intent than what is an online course. How to sell an online course without an audience is someone building a course business right now. A search like System.io review is someone close to signing up for a platform. Extremely high commercial intent. Run every topic through one question. Is the person searching this likely to be my ideal student and receptive to what I offer? If yes, that's your video. Now the experiment I promised you at the start. There are two kinds of video and the different shapes your whole content plan. Some videos are built to be found through search. They target a specific keyword, answer a specific question, and pull in people actively looking. They may not spike in views, but they generate steady, targeted traffic for years. Other videos are built to be shared. They make a strong argument, challenge a common assumption, and get sent to a friend. They can spike quickly, but attract a broader, less targeted crowd. Both matter. Search-first videos build your baseline of qualified traffic. Shareable videos build your reach. On this channel, in this series, I'm alternating between them on purpose. Last week's Why Your Course Isn't Selling was shareable. This week's is search first. And by the end of the series, I'll have more real data on which format drives more subscribers and more signups. Data that will shape Series 3. That's the experiment. You can run exactly the same one on your own channel. A good video is necessary, but not sufficient. You also have to hand YouTube the information it needs to put that video in front of the right person. 3 elements do most of the work. Your title does 2 jobs at once. It tells YouTube what the video is about, so the algorithm knows when to surface it, and it tells a human why to click, so they choose you over everything else in the results. For a search-first video, lead with the keyword naturally. How to build an email list from zero as a course creator puts the search term where YouTube weights it most. For a shareable video, lead with a hook. Why your course isn't selling. It's not what you think. Targets an emotion, not a keyword. Curiosity and that slight uncomfortable flicker of recognition. Either way, be specific. Specific beats vague every time. How to get your first 100 email subscribers without paid ads outperforms email marketing for course creators, because the specificity is what makes someone feel the video is for them personally. Your thumbnail and title are read together in a split second, and that decides the click. So a few principles here that apply specifically to course creator content. Put your face in it in most cases. The data leans this way. Studies from tools like vidIQ have found expressive faces can lift click-through rates by roughly 20 to 30%. I'll be honest, it's not universal. A large recent database found that it made very little difference in some niches, so test it for yourselves rather than treating it as a law. But as a starting default, a human face with a clear expression earns attention before the viewer has consciously processed anything else. Keep the text short, 3 to 6 words at the very most, readable at the size of a postage stamp. If you can't read it at 120 pixels wide, it's too small or too wordy. Let the expression do the work. Surprise, concern, quiet confidence all signal something before a word is read. And building contrast, pull up the top 5 thumbnails for your target keywords, then design yours to look deliberately different from all of them. Your description is where YouTube reads the full content of your video and where your most important links live. The first 2 or 3 lines show before someone hits show more, so they should hook the viewer and include your primary keyword naturally. Then your one link, the free system IO account in my case, early, with a clear reason to click. Then a keyword-rich summary of what the video covers, written for humans, not robots. Then timestamps, which lift watch time by letting people jump to the part they want. Then your secondary links, blog posts, related videos, kit list. Every video on this channel follows that exact structure, and those descriptions are doing real SEO work, not only for YouTube but for Google, which indexes YouTube descriptions and surfaces videos directly in web search results. One well-written description can earn you traffic from 2 search engines at once. Quick fire, because knowing what not to do is often more useful than one more tactic. Here are the mistakes I see course creators make the most. Posting without a strategy. uploading whatever feels interesting that week with no thought to search intent or audience building produces a channel that never compounds. Every video should do a job, capture search traffic, or build a shareable body of work, ideally both, ignoring the description. A blank or generic description leaves serious SEO value on the table. YouTube can't fully understand your video from the footage alone. It leans on the title, the description, and the tags. Treat every description as the text that decides whether the right person ever finds you. No call to action. A video that ends without telling the viewer what to do next is a wasted opportunity, and worse, a broken pipeline. Every video needs one clear, specific next step in the video and in the description. Not follow for more, a specific instruction: click this link, watch this one, download this. Chasing views over subscribers. A viral video that brings 50,000 people and no interest in your topic is worth less than a targeted one that brings 500 who are actively looking for what you sell. Optimize for the right audience, not the biggest. Giving up too early. Channels compound slowly and then quickly. Most see modest growth for 3 to 6 months, then start to accelerate as the algorithm works out who to show you to. The creators who quit at month 3 never find out what month 12 looks like, which, as we saw earlier, is often where the returns really start. Consistency over time is the only true non-negotiable. Everything else you can refine as you go. If you're building a course business and you're not yet on YouTube, I hope this has made the case for why it's worth the effort. A compounding asset that finds the right people and warms them up while you sleep. If you are on YouTube but you haven't connected it to an email list yet, you've got a channel with no pipeline underneath it. And last week's video walks through the full System.io setup that fixes exactly that. It's linked below. And if you want to build the machine that captures the audience your channel is about to create, the opt-in page, the email sequence, the automation, the free System.io account link is in the description. All of it runs on the free plan, so there's no reason to wait. Next week, I'm getting very specific and very practical. The fastest way to get your first 100 email subscribers. We set the list up in week 1. We covered YouTube as a traffic source today, and next week is about accelerating the list itself. The tactics that work fastest from a standing start. If that's where you are right now, it's going to be directly useful. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and tell me in the comments below where you are. Already using YouTube or still on the fence about starting? I read them all, and knowing where you actually are helps me make sure the next video meets you there. I'll see you next week.